And the Great Dispersal, known as the Diaspora, where Jewish communities were scattered across the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. Despite this, a small Jewish population always remained in the land, maintaining a continuous presence through the centuries. Throughout the long centuries of exile, Jewish communities adapted to life in foreign lands. They often lived as minorities, sometimes tolerated and sometimes persecuted. Despite being far from their ancestral home, they never forgot it. The memory of Zion, another name for Jerusalem and the land of Israel, was kept alive in their daily prayers, religious rituals, and cultural traditions. 3 times a day, Jews would pray facing Jerusalem. At the end of the Passover Seder, they would recite the hopeful phrase, "Next year in Jerusalem." This yearning for return was not just a vague hope, it was a core element of their identity, a promise that one day their exile would end, and they would be reunited with their land. Over time, the land itself saw many new rulers. After the Roman Empire split, the Byzantine Empire, which was Christian, controlled the region. In the 7th century, Arab armies conquered the land and it came under the rule of various Muslim caliphates. During this time, the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque were built on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, the same site where the Jewish temples once stood. This made Jerusalem a holy city for Muslims as well. Later, Christian crusaders from Europe fought to control the Holy Land, followed by the Mamluks of Egypt, and finally, from the 16th century until the end of World War I, the powerful Ottoman Empire based in Turkey. Even with these changing rulers and the vast distance of the diaspora, small groups of Jews continued to make the difficult journey back to their homeland. These migrations were often inspired by religious fervor or a desire to escape persecution in other parts of the world. Rabbis, scholars, and ordinary people would settle in the 4 holy cities of Jerusalem, Hebron, Safed, and Tiberias. These small but dedicated communities ensured that a Jewish presence, however fragile, was never completely extinguished from the land. They were the living embodiment of the enduring dream of return, serving as a bridge between the ancient past and the future possibility of a national restoration. In the late 19th century, a new idea began to transform the old Jewish dream of returning to Zion. This idea was modern political Zionism. It emerged in Europe at a time of rising nationalism, when many different peoples were striving to create their own independent countries. For Jews, this was also a time of intense and often violent anti-Semitism, particularly in Eastern Europe. A Jewish journalist and writer from Austria-Hungary named Theodor Herzl came to believe that the only solution to this Jewish question was for the Jewish people to have a state of their own. He argued that assimilation into European societies had failed, and that Jews needed to take their destiny into their own hands. Herzl organized the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland in 1897. This event was a major turning point. It brought together Jewish leaders and activists from all over the world and established a clear political goal to create a publicly and legally recognized home for the Jewish people in the land of Israel. The Congress created the World Zionist Organization to work towards this goal. Herzl's vision gave a practical, modern framework to the ancient religious hope. He famously wrote in his diary after the Congress, at Basel, "I founded the Jewish state." While it would take another 50 years, he had laid the essential groundwork for what was to come. Inspired by these ideas, waves of Jewish immigrants, known as Aliyot, began to arrive in the land, which was then part of the Ottoman Empire. These early pioneers, or Halutzim, were mostly young, idealistic, and secular. They came to build a new society from the ground up. They drained swamps, cultivated barren lands, and established new agricultural settlements called kibbutzim and moshavim. These were collective communities based on principles of equality and shared labor. They also revived Hebrew, the ancient language of their ancestors, transforming it into a modern, spoken language for everyday life. This cultural revival was just as important as the physical labor of building the land. This growing Jewish presence, however, did not happen in a vacuum. The land was already inhabited by an Arab population, and the arrival of the Zionist pioneers created new tensions. The two communities had different languages, cultures, and national aspirations. As the Jewish community, or Yishuv, grew in size, wealth, and organization, the Arab population began to feel threatened. They feared that the Zionists' goal was to dispossess them and take over the land for themselves. These competing national movements, Jewish Zionism and emerging Arab nationalism, set the stage for a conflict over the future of the land, a conflict that would intensify dramatically in the decades to follow. The First World War, dramatically changed the political landscape of the Middle East. The Ottoman Empire, which had ruled the region for about 400 years, was defeated. Control of the land, then known as Palestine, passed to the British Empire. During the war, in 1917, the British government issued a crucial document known as the Balfour Declaration. It stated that Britain viewed with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. This was, honestly, a huge victory for the Zionist movement. For the first time, a major world power had officially supported their goal. The declaration gave the Zionist cause international legitimacy and opened the door for increased Jewish immigration under British protection. Under the British Mandate for Palestine, which was officially granted by the League of Nations in 1922, the Jewish community continued to grow and develop its own institutions. They built schools, hospitals, and a political assembly. They also established a defense force, the Haganah, to protect their settlements. However, the British Mandate period was also marked by rising conflict. The Arab population strongly opposed the Balfour Declaration and the continued Jewish immigration, seeing it as a betrayal of their own rights to self-determination. This led to periods of intense violence and riots, such as the Arab Revolt of 1936 to 1939, which created a deep and bitter divide between the Jewish and Arab communities. The horrors of the Holocaust in Europe during World War II created a new and desperate urgency for the establishment of a Jewish state. 6 million Jews were systematically murdered by Nazi Germany and its collaborators. For the survivors and for Jews around the world, the Holocaust was a terrifying confirmation of the Zionist belief that they would never be safe without a country of their own. After the war, there was immense international sympathy for the Jewish people. The British, exhausted